Hello, welcome to week 6 on our talk about things regarding bankruptcy. Talked about last week about how to cut your expenses. Mentioned towards the end of it ways of getting a job. So this week I thought I'd give you my professional opinion, for what it's worth, on how to go about getting a job. What makes me qualified? Well, I spent almost 10 years through various jobs as a manufacturing supervisor. I was involved in a lot of hiring decisions. I own my own business. I have 16 employees. So I think that gives me a little bit of credibility how to what to speak of, what employers are looking for, what they aren't looking for. One of the common things you hear of nowadays, people saying, I've sent out hundreds and thousands of resumes, I can't get a response. My first response to that would be, well, if you sent out hundreds and thousands of resumes and you're not getting a response, you must be doing something wrong. I'm a little bit old school on this, but I believe in good old-fashioned, come in, talk to people, face-to-face communication. Now, does that mean you walk in and demand a job? No. But it does mean you work on that key thing they call networking. Now, you got certain social tools out there, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can use it to talk to people from LA to New York and everywhere in between. Now, it can be important to know all these people, but at the end of the day, it's going to be that person-to-person contact, and more likely than not, it's going to help you get that job. So what do employers actually look for? Well, my first thing just is looking for is, does that person want to work? Do they have the right attitude? Do they have the right appearance? Personally, I've been fired prior jobs. Why was I fired? I'm going to be honest, I didn't have the very best attitude I should have at the time. And so no matter how good you may think you are or how good you are at a company, ultimately if you're not a good fit, you don't have the right attitude, you're not going to be able to get that job, you're not going to be able to keep that job. So what else do I look for as an employer? I said the enthusiasm, do you want to work? Are you trainable? Most employers they talk about laundry list now, you want to be able to do a million different things. You know what? A good employer knows how to train employees. They look for attitude, they look for fit, they look for ambition, they look for drive. A good employer can teach you to do almost anything, but if you're a good employee, they will make that investment. Another thing you have to be willing to do is willing to start at the bottom to gain experience. I've had jobs at McDonald's, I've worked at a summer camp, I've washed dishes, I've been a busboy. I hate to tell you people, I ain't that old. It's not like we're going back to the 50s when I said I did this. We're going back to the early 90s. And so you get that experience by starting at the bottom and working your way up. The other thing you can gain, and this is, Hollywood makes this famous, is, when you're working as a waiter especially, you're going to run into all types of people. And I'm going to tell a couple stories about this. The first one goes back to a business my father was involved in, and he hired a district manager from somebody he met in a restaurant. One of the workers there worked as a waiter, bartender, something like that. And just from meeting him every day, talking to him in his day-to-day business, and eventually this gentleman became my father's district manager in his business, ended up buying out part of the business from my father. This man is now a millionaire. He owns his own little business on the side. He's very comfortable. He could have retired at 40, I think. And why? Because just on his day-to-day interactions with somebody. The reason I say this is when you're looking for a job or trying to find a job, you have to always have the attitude that you're always being interviewed. I had a booth at the Fresno Fair. Probably 100,000 people came by. Well, all those people that came by, a total of 2 asked me for a job. Both of them I told no. Didn't need anybody at the time. However, turns out as soon as I told one of those people I didn't need a job, the next day my person working for me, had a little run with the law, was not going to be able to work for me at the fair anymore. So basically I hired one of those people based on just meeting her for 5 minutes. She just said I needed a job. She seemed pleasant enough. I didn't have a resume. I had nothing more than her name and a phone number. The next day she's down there, she's working for me. The job may have only lasted a week, but she put herself out there. She got a little experience. I still stay in contact with this person. It's been almost a year now. And I'm always trying to find something, well, if I can put something together, I know I got a good person there that I can count on, that if I can find a way to integrate her into what I'm doing so that it works for both, I know I got a good employee, and she's going to know she's got a good employer. So why did it happen? Because she put herself out there. She was ready to be interviewed at the moment she walked up to me and said, just, hey, I need a job. Another little story with that. The last person I hired, the other business I own is a hair salon, by the way, 60 employees. The last person I ended up hiring is, I was just doing my rounds. I generally don't do the hiring anymore for that. And she just happened to walk in and apply for a job. So I said, okay, let's go do an interview. She was a little bit shocked. And I said, The owner lets go. So basically, she turned in her application. I interviewed her on the spot. I wanted to hire her, however, I had to defer to my manager to make sure that she would be a good fit. But this person's now the manager of the salon. Why? Because she came in, she put herself out there, she walked in, she didn't just send in an application online. I don't know the first thing about how to cut hair. I can just judge people. And because I liked her personality, liked her attitude, and that all happened in 30 minutes. So you got to put yourself out there to get a job, not just sit behind a computer, think you're doing a lot of work when you're sending out hundreds of resumes, but instead go talk to people. Understand that even if you've got a job as a waiter, that person you're talking to may own a business, and I do this. Personally now, whenever I go out, I'm just, when I'm talking to people, I'm always evaluating people because, I dabbled in a lot and I never know what I'm going to do. And business owners are the same way. We don't advertise, hey, I own a business. No, we're just regular people. And, if you're just pleasant and you put yourself out there, you never know what's going to come. So I don't know if this can help anybody get a job. But that's just kind of my 2 cents on, how I see things employing. So just remember, put yourself out there. Look to establish that face-to-face contact. Even maybe if it's walking into someplace you might be interested in looking for. Ask for an application. Ask to speak for 5 minutes to a human resources person. The worst they can say is no, but hey, maybe you impress them enough. Grab 5 minutes, buy them a cup of coffee. Be ready to sell yourself in 5 minutes. Hopefully, if all those kind of steps working for you, you won't need bankruptcy. However, if you do, give me a call, 559-274-2868, and I'll see what we can do. Next week, we'll talk about college, whether you should actually go or not, and how to pay for it. Thank you for your time.